Alrighty, I'm going to show everybody how I make my strings for my Bear Recurve. Hit it on the table. For my Bear Recurve, and that way if anybody wants to know how I made it, I can show them how I made it. Alrighty, this is how I started. This string here, I've got two different colors. You can get it at Three Rivers Archery, which is where I ordered it from. It comes pre-waxed, but you peel it off, and I'll move it so you can see it. And on the back side pin, I'm facing away from you, the very last one, you take and just tie a small slip knot. I'll go ahead and tie a knot first. And you don't have to have it very big because this gets cut off. And I always slide it down most of the way, like that. And then you take it and you wrap it around this pin right here. I'm trying to do this with my cell phone camera. You wrap around the nearest pin right here, and then you take it all the way down here, and you go around this outside pin here. And for my bow, mine's a 58 inch, so you go up to the 58 inch mark and then back down to the other side. You okay, Kit? And then you go all the way back up here, and that's one wrap. But I don't think you count this one. I don't. I've been doing it to where you start counting from here, and you'll wind up with one pin left, because you have to have 7 runs if you want 14 strands, which is a for a 40 to 50 pound draw, if I'm not mistaken. So then you go around the next one, and you keep it tight the whole time. Go to 58. Back around that one, all the way down here, and every time you come down here, you go to the next pin forward. So I started here, and I went to this one, then to this one, and you go in a straight line across them. So that would be, if I'm doing it, if I remember correctly, that's 2, because you have to have an even number between these two. So right now I've got 2 strands on both sides, and you go around here, and then here. Pull it down here, and this stuff makes your hands sticky as all get out, because this string is sticky. So that makes 3 strings, and then you go down to here, wrap it around, and then down to here, wrap it around. And I always try to make sure the strings not overlapping each other. There's one string on top of each other. You can come down here and push them down, and they'll push each other down. So that's 4 strands. And I'll push these down. And that makes 5 once I come back down. So that's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. That would be a 7 right here, this last one, like I was saying. So you come back down. Here, and if this isn't if the video doesn't turn out to be the best of quality so people can tell what I'm doing, I plan on making more strings. I'm gonna make about 4 or 5 backup strings. I mean, each spool is only $11, and the amount of material you use to make one string isn't anything. I mean, I've already made 2 strings and I still got almost full spools. So keep going down here, down here, down there, and then here, and I've still got, okay, I still got plenty of time. Okay, and that makes that. So if you want to double check, you can count them out. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you do the same on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So then you hold it tight, just like that. You hold it nice and tight, and you grab some sort of knife. And I've got a real nice set of razor knives the wife bought me. Get out of there. And push them all down. And hold it tight, and then you take the razor knife and you line it up and you cut them all right down the middle. And then you take your string, stick it back to it, pull that away because you're done with that. You can take this tag in right here off because you don't need it. And then this part of the string's done. This is only half your string. So let's see if I can do this and still get it on camera. You come down here. Let's bring this down here. You come down here where the strings are like this. You grab them right here. And you make sure you don't let go of the strings totally. You want to keep all the string lengths the same. You grab it right dead center in the middle. And if you got any dust in your hand, it's best to get it off. And then you take and hold the string up, which I will have to set my camera different, so give me 1 second. Okay, so you hold the strings up, and you take and you go down them slowly while holding the top, and try to straighten them all out and untangle them, because you don't want any short sections. You don't want them to be all tangled up and not laying flat when you smooth them out. So that side's done. You take it and hold it real tight in one hand, and take the other hand and just real tight slide it down. It'll get hot, but what you're doing is you're turning that one strand, all those strands, into one thick strand. See? Now you've got one thick strand. Now you do the same thing on this side. And get the dust off your hand if you got any. You take, slide down it, separate the strings, because you want to make sure they all lay in the same length. You don't want to have one string that's like, you don't want to have a string that's like this. You don't want it to be, you don't want it to be like that. You want them all to be real smooth, so when you pull them straight, they all look like that. Where's the camera lens? Right there. So they're all straight. And once you do that, get rid of the stuff that's in it. You hold it tight, smooth it down. You want it to get hot, because it melts the wax together. And it will get hot, as you can tell. Well, maybe you can't tell there, but it looks really hot to me. But you keep doing that. And then you can tell if you've done it relatively right. This is the way I tell it. I don't know if it really matters, but you hold the ends together, and you'll have all your, I don't know if it's viewable, but you'll have all your cut marks will be relatively the same spot. So that's one half of the string done. So you just lay it out of the way, and we'll do the next one on the jig. And the Flemish twist is two sections like that twisted together. So let me move the camera back again, and I'll start on the next one. I'm going to try to do it at a different angle so you can get a view of the actual board as I'm doing it. I don't know if I can work it out, but I'm going to try. So I'll be right back. Alrighty, that's about the best I could get the camera. It's above me, but you'll see my tripod shadow through here. Okay, you get the next color out. And let's see, I'm trying to look up. I'm using the face cam, the one that faces the screen. Okay, you take and you find your end of your string, like so. Tie a small loop into it, like so. If I can get my hands to work. There we go. Tie a small loop into it, like so. Come down to the very last one away from you, just like last time. Tie it down like that, and you take, pull it tight, and you just run it down. Go around the same size for your bow, and this doesn't measure string length; it measures bow length from string knock to string knock. I think that's what it's called. Where the string locks in. So if you have a bow and you don't know what size you need, you measure from where it hooks in to where it hooks in, and that gives you an idea of what size string you need. Okay, so just keep doing this. And keep going around. Now I'm gonna, at some point, order other colors. I want to get, they got a bright green that I want to get as an accent. And to do an accent, you do the same thing, but your very first strand, So basically you'd have 2 strands set up. Your very first strand, you would, of course, run it through here and back around, and then you come through here and you go off this way with it. You leave that spool attached, and then you go from this one, you tie a knot on this one. I'll have to watch it again. Watch the tutorial the guy that I found this video from and the website posted. But to do it, it's the same thing. You just gotta make sure you have the same amount of strings. But I can't remember which peg he went off of, because I'm not doing it with an accent. I know he went off this one, went around, and went to this one, and went through here, and went off that way. So I would say that you more than likely, because you'd have a string here, you'd more than likely tie to this one and go. So you just tie the next one down. That's how I would figure it, though. You just keep pushing your strings down on top of each other so they stay not staggered, stacked. You keep it tight. Do that. Just keep going. And then I got one more wrap to do. And you do this, and then that, and then this is your last wrap right there. So you can push them all down, which is what I do because it makes it easier to cut them. Push them all down, and it keeps them all stacked in line. So you got it just like that. And you take your knife, whatever you want to use. I prefer using an X-Acto knife. You hold it tight, put your hands across both lines, and just drag your knife down and cut it. And then you do the same thing with this one. You reach down here to one side, grab them, pull them all off, grab them in the middle, and you just, I don't know if I can get the camera to adjust enough. You just grab them, and mine are almost touching the floor, and you just walk them down. Get all any knots or loose spots where when you're at the end, they should be all tight together when you do like that. So you do that, and see like that there, that one's not right, so I gotta do it one more time. Which that was an easy fix, but I prefer just to do it right. And then you get them all where they're smooth together, and you grab it and you slick them. You just keep doing that, and your hands will definitely get hot. Okay, so I switch to this side, slide them apart, like so, let them hang. Okay, and they're all smooth, and you grab them and slick them. Now, a lot of people do it with leather, but being that I've got welder's hands, I mean, I've welded almost all my life, so the heat don't bother me much. And then, okay, yep, that's good. That's just the end of the string. And you can keep slicking it, just like that. Oop, I got that snagged on the nails. And now we're done with the jig. So let me set up for the next part, and I will show you that next part. Be back in a second. Alrighty, in the next step, you'll probably need this stuff. I don't know if you actually have to have it, but I was told that this is the best stuff for it, and what's called is string maker's wax. What you do is you take the 2 strings like this, and you line them up dead even. And let me get my measurement tool. Okay. What you do, actually I skipped a step. What you do first is you take the string and about, I would say at least 12 inches, probably closer to 18 inches up. Take and hold it down in the middle, drag it through, turn it over, drag it through. And what you're doing is you're making the string extra sticky. And you do that on both ends, because this part here is the important part. This is what holds the string on your bow. So you measure it out roughly. It doesn't have to be exact. You do that. Okay, the black string's done. So now I go to the blue string and go roughly that far, drag it through. And as you do it, where the string's dragging, it'll make the string stick to your fingers really good. Okay. But what we're doing right now is we're making the loops in the string. Okay. Now that you got that done, I didn't realize my couch had a pillow behind me. Oh well. But anyways, what you take is you take both strings, and you see how much stiffer they are now? You line them up, and you grab yourself your ruler. And for long bows, now see on the recurve, this is made for long bows and recurves, but all the instructions I found on the website and that guy's video were for long bows. But I got it to work with a recurve, so on the long bows, your first measurement will be 7 inches, which I don't know if you can see it, but 7 inches, and that's for long bows. For recurves, your string's supposed to actually, if you got a 58-inch bow, you're supposed to have a 4-inch shorter string. If you got a long bow, you're supposed to have a 3-inch shorter string. So for me, I will go, last time I made one at 7.5. I'm going to make one at 8 this time, because I had to twist that one up pretty much, quite a bit. So I'm going to go 8 1/4. Because you can always undo the string and redo it, because there's no tying involved, it's just twisting. And that first one I made, I had to do that several times. So go 8 1/4. And here's the tricky part. Okay, I always start with black, that's just me. You twist it forward, I grab it and twist it like 3 times, then you go backwards with it. Oh yeah, and this helps if you put your fingers between it. You twist forward, and then twist it around behind. Twist forward, and then around behind. So it's forward, and around behind. Forward, and around behind. And then you hold it, and you can pull your string tight on your finger, forward, around behind. And it's, once you get to this point, it goes pretty quick. But this can be used for pretty much any longbow or recurve. I'd say if your bow is supposed to have a certain type, and like in a survival situation, like if you were out of power for 2 or 3 months on end and you had no way to get anywhere, you could make your own string for any bow. That I didn't know there was a max recording length. Anyways, I'm to this point here, and you want to hold it together and see if you got enough for a loop, which that's a pretty good loop. So you take, and of course I got to do one more twist because my strings weren't lining up. There we go. So you take and you hold these two together up here, and you take the black string that's left over and put it with the black line, and you hold it dead center between them, and you smooth those together. And this is why that extra wax helps. But you smooth them together as best you can. I fixed the problem. My damn memory card was full. But anyways, and as I was offloading it, I didn't realize one of the cats had gotten sick on the other chair that we don't use, so I went ahead and cleaned that up. But yeah, you slick them all together after you do this point, and then you take, and it's the same thing. You easier to let them hang, but I try not to let them hang too much, because having cats and dogs, even if you vacuum, you still get hair in it. You twist it, and you do the same thing. You twist it and around, twist it and around, and you're doing that till you get to the very end of the cut line. Twist it and around. And when you get done, you will have little tufts sticking out between the strings. It's not a big deal. But see, that's why you want to have it dangle down, because it's easier to untwist. But I always add more twists. The guy I watched, he barely put any twist in it. I twist it quite a bit, because I mean it's twisting on itself, so that's what's holding it. But you go forward, you twist forward and then backwards, forward and then backwards, forward, and backwards. And you keep moving down, and you can keep slicking it. These ends don't really want to stick to this other part that well, though. But it's as long as you get them twisted around, it holds. Cat, would you get off my arrow rack? You're making racket over there scratching. Around, forward and around, forward and around, forward and around. And you just keep doing that. And then you'll have to get the twist out of your line. And then, wait, forward and around. Because see all this extra line that's sticking out? It will get trimmed off. And as you shoot it, because the string stretches, it will pull up inside, and that helps hold it too. Okay, and now what I normally do is I get a twist tie, and down here on your last twist, I always take, and this is what he did in the video too, but that's what I did. That's what I thought of doing when I was reading the manual before I ever got to that point. But and you twist it so it won't untwist, as you do. But see, I was talking about those little tufts, and as it pulls, as it stretches, it'll pull those twists down inside. And now the part that always confuses me. Let me go ahead and finish twisting that around so it protects it. Is you're supposed to twist this. I want to say he holds it and rolls it on his leg, so I guess you twist it away from you. So that's what I'm going to do. Let me get where is my jig? There it is. This part's easier to do with a jig. Get my bow out of the way. I just take and put the jig anywhere where I can lay it. I'll do it so it's facing the camera. Lay it so it's facing down. Put your string on there. Stretch it out, which you can't see me, but you stretch it out. And see, that's the same hand I was holding it in. And he rolls it away from him, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it on my leg and roll it. And what you're doing is you're putting counter twists in it. When you go to twist it the other way, it's going to twist back on itself. So I don't know how many you're supposed to do, because he never said, he just said just do a few times so the counter twists are in it. And so far I've not had any problems. I've shot probably 100 shots off my other bow. And then you take this off. And if you've done it right, when you get to the end, both ends will be the same. And they're lined up, so you measure off. I did last time 8 1/4. Let me make sure my string's straight. And if they don't line up exactly, it's not a big deal, but as you can tell, mine line up exactly. Okay, 8 1/4. Okay, I'm at 8 1/4. And you do the same exact thing again. You take it, you separate it, put one or two fingers, whatever works for you. Because the way he does it, he has one inside and two outside, and I like doing it 2 inside and 1 outside. And then I always double check to make sure. Yeah, and see, it's a good thing I did. Okay. Pull the blue string back up in place. 8 1/4. Okay, and you take it, and of course twist forward, backwards. Twist forward, backwards. And what you're doing is you're making the bottom loop, the last loop to go on the bow. Well, it doesn't really matter if it's the bottom or the top, because whichever loop is bigger is the one that you will have at the top, because the bottom loop stays on the bow. The bottom and the top one you slide off. And you just keep doing this. Oh, I didn't twist that one tight enough. There we go. I'm having issues this time. There we go. Forward, forward, backwards, forward, backwards, forward, backwards, and then you grab it, and see, that's way too small, so you grab it, you go forward, backwards again, and then you're getting pretty close by this point to being done. But every time I make a string, that last part where you have to do the counter twists, I always confuse myself. So far I haven't had to undo one, but now that I'm recording, I bet you I will. I bet you I did something wrong. See, and now that's about the right size. And I'll just take it and do one twist to get my strings lined up. And put them together. And make sure they're all lined up. Smooth them as best you can. And see, they don't really stick together well, but as long as you got them lined up good, take it, twist it back, and this is where that counter twist comes in. Twist it and back. Wait, there we go. Twist it back. God, why is this stuff not sticking together? Twist it back. Cat. Yeah, I'm having problems. I think I let it sit too long while I was offloading the videos off my phone. The wax started drying up. But you can smooth it together. It takes a while. But it doesn't have to be perfect. As long as you're getting all your lines twisted. You just make sure you grab it tight, pull it, and twist. But having the string not sticky, I may not have waxed it down far enough, but having the string not sticky makes it a little more of a chore because you're fighting the strings trying to keep them all in line. Okay, and now you're down to this point. You get another twist tie. Don't know if you really need it here, but I'm going to use it. That's what I did last time. I'll put a twist tie on it and walk the twist tie up it. And then this one around the other way. And now you're to the point where you take it, and if you've done it right, which, see, I didn't do something right, because it's pulled tight and I don't have equal lines. So I gotta undo this end I just did and redo it. So I'll just keep it going. It might be a longer video, but I'm not gonna cover mistakes I made, because I made a mistake, so I'm gonna fix it. So all you do is you take it and grab it down here at the end, where you put your fingers point, and you just twist it backwards. Like that. And then, if you want to make sure it was just your twisting. Now see, I pulled it tight, and it's tight. So it was just my twisting putting those loops together. So what I'm going to do this time is take this wax and add a lot more to it. And then smooth it back down again. I'd probably been better off just leaving it alone. But anyways, there's that. Okay. You want to make sure all your lines are the same length. Because you get one line that's shorter or longer than the other, then you get weak spots in your string. So you twist it and bend it. Twist it. I guess it ain't really bent, it's wrapping it. Twist it, wrap it. I never normally have this much problem with it. Last time I made a string, I made it in under 20 minutes. But I normally have something going in the background and I'm watching it and not trying to show people how to do it. But the string just is not staying together tonight. Twist. Twist. I know one thing, it's sure making my hand hurt. That keeping a tight grip on it. Okay, and now I'm at the end. If I did it right, and see, that time I did it right. It's tight. And now the video I watched, he didn't double check his that way. But I believe in checking it 2 or 3 times, making sure everything's right, and then only having to if you have a mistake, only having to fix it now versus after you get it pretty much finished. But now you reach down to each end, and see, I pull it tight, and then all you gotta do is, let's see, are they twisting the same? Yes. And you're supposed to twist them. Let's see, I gotta remember how to do the twists. Is it that way? If you twist it, you'll know, because the twists will supposed to match the directions they're coming off of the string. And I'll let you know in a second. I'm twisting this hand forward, this hand backwards. And you can tell by looking at the string that I'm doing it right. Because see, this section here, you can see the way the wrapping's going, it's matching, just not as tight. And I usually do it till I get to about this design on the string. Now see, the string will do that, but when you get to that design, and I'm going to go ahead and stop it here, and I will show you putting it on the bow. So I'll be right back. Alrighty, I gotta take my other string off, which I don't really want to because I got the brace height set, but just for showing the video, I want to show it in its entirety. So I've got a stringer. I've done it the old way before, and I prefer the stringer way. You take and put the big loop over the bottom, which is where the string's already at. Well, actually, I don't have to do it on this one because I've already got the string undone. Just slide it down and do it. Slide it up over the end, and so that it doesn't unravel, I'm going to take it the right way it is because I don't want it to untwist because I got my height set right. I'm going to take it and loop it onto my jig. That way it won't untwist. Okay, and to do the stringer, hopefully you guys can see all this. To do the stringer, you got your hand notch. You take and you put the this piece here on this. You take the one that's got the big pocket and you put it on the bottom. You take the one that's got the little pocket and that goes on the top. But before you get to that point, you got to take your string, which I've got mine set on the table with stuff piled on it so it doesn't unravel. My new string. You take your string and you figure out which loop is your bigger loop. And I always tend to make mine a little too big. But see, you can tell the one on the one on this side, the phone's backwards, but the one on that side is looks to be a little bit bigger. They're about the same size though. They're actually almost exactly the same size, but this one is just a tad bigger, so it'll go on top. So you take this one and you hook it over the bottom, put it into the valley, Actually, I told you wrong. Not totally wrong, but that's doing it the other way. What you do first is you put this one up here, and you slide it down. You put it over the top and slide it past the knock, down on this point. Then you can take your string and pull it all the way down to here and put it over the bottom. This is the easy way to do it if you've got a stringer. If you don't have a stringer, you can't really... You can do it this way, but it's harder. But you make sure it's lined up in this groove. And then you take the top one, pull it tight. So now your string's relatively tight, but it's not locked in yet. You take your stringer. Of course, see, because the top has no string on it. That my arrows. The string's got no top on it. So you put the small one on the top, just like that. And as you can see, you can still see the notches. You take the bottom one, and when the bottom one goes on, I'm trying not to get the ceiling fan. When the bottom one goes on, it covers your string, so your string won't pop off. You gotta make sure it's still in line. And I left the wire ties on. You can actually take them off now, but I left them on because you'll take them off here in a second. And now I always do this backwards, so I might have to do it. I might have to make 2 tries. But you just take and stand on the string on the floor, and you pick up, and you line it up. And you don't want to let go too fast. And now, to see if you got your twists right, see, I'm off a little bit. Your twists are supposed to be right. You're supposed to have pretty much, well, it's hard to do, but like that. The string should be on the bottom of my hand instead of in the middle. So I got to take it loose, twist it some more, and put it back on. But the way to really do it right is to take a ruler and go off of the handle. You go off the handle like this, and my brace height is between 7 and 8, or 7.5 and 8.5. And right now I'm measuring 4 1/4, so I've got to twist my string up more. So I actually should have twisted my strings at about almost 9 instead of 8 1/4. But you pick it up to unstring it, pull it down, and you don't. I don't know if you're supposed to do it this way or not, but I don't really see what it matters because you're twisting it, and both ends will twist. You take it loose, take it off this end, lay it on its side, make sure you're twisting it in the right direction, and you just keep twisting. I mean, the whole string's twisting, so you just keep twisting it, and now I've got more twists in it, so I'm going to string it back up. Just like so. Make sure it's locked in that notch under there, because if you don't and it comes loose, it can hurt you. And you put it back like that, and slide that up so it's a little bit easier to get to. Yeah, I did it backwards because I always have this hand picking up. My stringer wasn't straight. It feels like it's stretching. Let me go ahead and do it the way I'm supposed to, the right way for me. Because doing this, I'm right-handed. I don't know what's going on with my stringer. It's starting to sit down further than it's supposed to. And then, of course, you always check your notches. Sorry to say knocks, it's not a knock. And the bottom one's good. And you take your ruler. And all that twisting, I'm at 5.5 now. So I still got to take it off and twist more. So I'm going to go ahead and do that twisting real quick. But as you can tell, the string has been twisted more. Can't really get it in the light. Oh, there you go. See, it's been twisted more. And right now, you go from, if I've read the instructions on sites and stuff right, you do it from the handle up to there, and I am measuring roughly 5.5. So I gotta twist it some more. So I will be right back. Alrighty, I've got it twisted up. I don't know if you can tell how much twisting I did. I don't know if I can get the light to hit it where it's easy to see. But I got it twisted up, and it is now measuring 7.5 exactly. Now, the B50 string does stretch, so you'll have to re-tension it. But next string I make, I need to remember to go to like 9 inches on making the loops. And I went ahead and I shortened my stringer. But now we're getting to the part that's the more interesting part. It's doing the where you put your nocks at. And I'll show you this. This right here, all this fuzz here, as you shoot it, it will pull in, and you can also trim it off too. And I don't worry about it until I've shot it several times, probably about 100 times, then I'll do that. But as you can tell, and hopefully this still holds together because I don't want to kill myself, but as you can tell, it holds. So I will go ahead and set the camera up for doing the whatever the hell it's called, the serving, and I will show you how to do that. So I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm back. This part here is going to be kind of hard for me to show you guys zoomed in because I don't have any way to zoom in and be focused on it, and I can't show it from the top down, so I'll do my best. But what you do is you take your serving tool, which is what I got here, lay out some thread, and you take and lay the thread down the string this way, which is easier said than done. You take and lay the thread down that way. Erg. Okay. I'm going to just wrap it around. I went the wrong way wrapping it. You wrap it around. This is not going according to plan. I always have a problem starting this. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I like it to be. But you lay it on top, like that. And then you take and you overlap. I mean, you butt them all up. I don't know if you can see it. But you want them all to go right next to each other and be really tight against each other. And then you got this one that's on top. If you got enough wax on your string left, you can stick it up there. But I got a lot longer than you need, but better safe than sorry. But you just start, and when you get it up to the right point, it'll walk itself. And you do, I've heard people say anywhere from 10 to 20 wraps. The more wraps you got, I think the better you are. But I'm going to go with what I did last time and go 15. That's in between the two. So you just, if you got your serving jig, you can do it by hand without a serving jig, but if you got a serving jig, it's got this little notch in it, and it fits against the string, and you have to make sure it's tight enough. And you just, you hold your string tight, and you just walk it around, and let's see. I'll go 4 more times. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you take and lay this string back over the top, and you just keep going. And what you want to do is you want to go from, I do it from about this point here all the way till about, let's see, yeah, till about right here, which on mine is past the numbers on the handle. The last one I made it way too short. I mean, it worked, but I barely had enough space for your fingers, and that's what it's for. It's for when you're shooting, because you got one finger, and it's here. You got one finger above the arrow and 2 fingers below, so you want to have it at least down to like in this area. So, and this thing's not tight enough. There we go. if you got a good one, you can get it to, oop, that's walking the wrong way. You can get it to walk the right way, but this one doesn't do that. No, I can't get it to do it. I've seen videos, people doing it. So I'll just do it this way. But you want to have these things like tight as you can get them against each other. See, I got my jig just a little too tight, but you just keep going. I'm hoping I can get this done before the dogs start barking. Because I can hear them in there whining. They're going to start barking anytime now. But you just keep going. And walking it around. And I'm already almost to the arrow shelf, the arrow rest, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, see, now you can tell it's looser. And the string's coming out shiny now, so I don't know if it's shiny on here, so I guess having a little bit looser is better, I don't know. But you keep doing that. Why is my other phone on? I had my Android turned on, my busted ass phone I had last year ago. I use it for watching videos when I'm using my cell phone, my current one, the one I'm recording with. I use it for broadcasting on my TV. Okay, we're to the arrow shelf, so I gotta go about this much more. So we'll just keep going. I wish I could do it the way I've seen in those videos. Because the guy, he just takes it and goes. But for some reason, I think maybe I need to turn it around, but I'm not going to worry about it this time. Maybe I'm going the wrong direction to do it that way. I'll just keep doing it this way. This is the way I know. But like the guy in the video, I'll post his video. His is a little more straightforward, I guess. If I can find his video, I haven't watched it in a while. I go by the instructions, so I'm definitely going to post the instructions that I read. But I'm going to get into making arrowheads too. Flint napping is what it's called. I'm going to get into that soon too. I've been watching videos on that, and it's kind of a neat skill too. And I've been wanting to make arrows. I attempted to make some when I was in Boy Scouts, but I don't remember anything about it. I remember we used dowels. I don't remember the size, but I know my arrows are 5/16, the ones I currently shoot, so I can buy those. I found somebody selling them 100 dowels for $35, I think it was, before shipping and handling. But I think I'm going to go down to Lowe's and buy one or two and attempt to make some arrows first and then see how it goes. But no, what this is about is protecting the string, and it gives you something to hang on to when you're shooting. But it's all about protecting the string, because you can actually take this off. If you do it right, you can unravel it and reserve it without having to redo your string. But the reason you want to have a couple extra strings, especially if you go hunting, is if you have a string, something happened to your serving, or your string breaks when you're out in the field. You don't want to have to call it a day on your hunting trip if that's the case. Now, making a new string, like I was saying, you'll have to shoot it, say 50 rounds, and then check your brace height. And every bow's got a set height. I know mine is 7.5 to 8.5. And right now, being on the bow, it will stretch some. Oh, I got my ruler upside down. Yeah, see, it's already stretched. I'm down to 7 inches on my brace height, and before it was 7.5. So, if you let it sit on the bow for, say, an hour, while you just go about your business, come back and check your brace height, it will stretch. And if you put this on and then twist it up too, it makes this even tighter. So let's go ahead and finish this. Okay, and now this is the part I've always had an issue with. You loosen this up. You don't want to loosen too much. You loosen this up, and you take, and you go the same direction you were going. Let's see, I gotta go like this. You go the same direction you were going, but this time you serve it on the inside. So, last time I was going around this way, down. Now I'm going around this way, up. And you want to go about 10 times. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then I think you go like this. And you want to keep it tight. And you go like that. And then you walk it around. And you keep it tight. And you got to make sure everything's lined up perfectly. Okay, I got to cinch it up. There we go. And you just keep walking it down. And if you get any gaps, you just slide it and pull tight. Slide it down against the string. And what you're doing is you're unraveling this end, and you're raveling it that way. And what you're doing is you're giving yourself a string to pull. And when you pull it down, it cinches your serving. Yeah, I'm gonna redo this because I don't like how it's looking. I don't like how it's looking at all. Okay, so you go down and hold it with your finger. And you don't want it to overlap, so you got to make sure you're not overlapping. And I'm almost done. That's the last wrap. So now you hold it down here, and you make sure there's no twists in this. Oh, maybe I wrapped it too tight. Okay, there we go. Make sure there's no twists in it. Hey, let my finger go. Damn it, let my finger go. There we go. And you pull it. And as you pull it, you're closing off your last loop, and you're basically tying it shut. And then if you get any issues, you just slide it down, and then of course you don't want to waste all that string because it's not expensive, but it's not cheap either. So I always twist it back on, and you can hold on to this and cinch it, but you don't want to pull it super tight. You want it to be tight, but not so tight that it's going to bind up on that too much. And then take a pair of scissors, which I got sewing scissors, and cut it relatively close. And see, now you're done with that. And then this one down here, I got way too much, because all you do with this one is you take it, and I always wrap it around, and you just pull it. And see, it broke it, but this string down here cuts anyways. I need to do it down. Maybe I need to do it this way. Last time I did this, I did it with a pair of forceps. But that's all you gotta do, and then you take and cut it close. Now, some people say that they don't do it that way, but the way I always do it, where did I put it? Right here. A lot of people say that they just leave the tags there. That way it's easier to get apart, but it's easier for it to come apart while you're shooting it. So, real carefully, you light that up, and you smooth it out. and that one won't come unraveled. And that one won't come unraveled. And you're done. Now you've got a shootable string. And all you gotta do now is just set your nocks, which in a later video I'll show you how to do that. You use this tool and you put it on there and you slide it to the right spot, and I'll show you how to do that, guys, in a later video. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and edit this and upload it. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.